Hello, my name is Prodigy, and I'm going to do something a little bit unusual, and that is I'm going to do a commentary on a video created by another YouTuber named MTashed. I don't usually watch him, but I've heard he's very, very influential in the community. And I'm sort of going to make commentary about this video because I feel like this video is something really, really important to make commentary about. I haven't really watched it much, and keep in mind the production value of what I'm making right now is going to be really, really low. I have like a real job and stuff, and I don't have time to like go through and edit a bunch of footage and stuff, so this is basically going to be me talking over his video. And with that being said, the first thing I'm going to look at when I look at this video is the title. And it says, "The New Recluse, last word is ruining the Crucible." And what I would say about that is that it demonstrates a remarkable lack of self-awareness in that it highlights the fact that if last word is the new Recluse, then what was Recluse? Because if Recluse is something else, or like if Recluse is the newest broken gun on the block and it needed nerf, like what came before that? And that really gets down to the question I would ask seeing this title is last word ruining the Crucible? And then the follow-up question to that would be, was Recluse really ruining the Crucible? And then before that, was Not Forgotten ruining the Crucible? Was Ace of Spades ruining the Crucible? And then into year one, was Graviton Lance ruining the Crucible? Was Mida Multi-Tool ruining the Crucible? Um, it just was Midnight Coup ruining the Crucible, Antiope, was that ruining the Crucible? Then going into Destiny 1 was No Land Beyond, which was a joke in Dark Below, but by the end was broken. Was that ruining the Crucible? Was Universal Remote ruining the Crucible? Was Messenger 2 weeks after Taken King ruining the Crucible? Was Last Word and Thorn ruining the Crucible when those guns were way, way overpowered, especially if we're talking about Last Word again? How about Last Word when it did 68 damage to the body and 3 tapped from the hip? Was that ruining the Crucible? Were fusion rifles, Pocket Infinity ruining the Crucible? Were auto rifles ruining the Crucible? When the Destiny franchise first came out, I mean, it's up to you. I feel like if people are going to make videos like this, that they're just never going to be satisfied. Now, I would just like to preface this video in that I hope this to be a little bit educational. I want to give you guys some like facts about guns in general that you might not know, or to look at take a very, very nuanced stance on a number of things, and hopefully I come out of this happier, you come out happier, we all have a good time, and it's a blast, like whatever. So I'm going to preface this by some actual information about Last Word. It is a lightweight frame hand cannon. In other words, it behaves under the hood, and under the hood meaning in Bungie's physics engine as a 150 RPM hand cannon. However, it fires at 225 RPM. So essentially, Last Word is like if you took a gun with the same aim assist stats and stuff that is a lightweight frame and just gave it a 225 firing rate. Now what that means is that Last Word, it essentially means that Last Word resets its bloom at the rate of a 150 but fires at a 225, meaning that if you fire it past 150, you essentially get extra bloom and the reduced magnetism that comes with that at a rate faster than any other hand cannon in the game. So already it's a lot different, but what really makes Last Word extremely different is that it has 1.1x zoom, whereas others have 1.4x zoom. If you don't know how zoom works in Destiny, basically it reduces the more the gun zooms, it reduces your field of view, but with the advantage that the target feels closer. So the game will actually the game actually treats the target as if it's closer, and that's how Bungie's physics engine works. It's actually really, really unusual. The damage drop off follows suit, and that doesn't really make sense from like a physics standpoint. That damage drop off would change, but in Destiny, more zoom actually does reduce damage drop off, which is a huge deal. And it also, the magnetism will be the same as if the target is closer to you. So the very, very first thing I would say is that like we shouldn't even be here, and I'm gonna probably end up saying that. I haven't really fully watched this video, but I'm almost certain I know what the takeaway points are because I've heard people say this, make these videos and make talking points about this all the time. We shouldn't even be here because Last Word has a 1.1x zoom, and it's fundamentally, that's going to be my big thesis. It's fundamentally not comparable to the guns that it will inevitably be compared to. It's not. In fact, you could compare it to Recluse, but I don't think you could compare Recluse to other guns. So yeah, there's some facts about Last Word. Anyways, let's get into watching this video.
Ho ho ho! I'm a giant ho! I mean, Merry Christmas! Although I kinda am a hoe, because I'm using the Last Word.
Okay, so my word of advice, and I played many different first-person shooters and games in general that are competitive from all sorts of things. Let's just get rid of this ad real quick. I would not ascribe fundamental value attributions or make the fundamental attribution errors of the word to players who use a certain strategy. And I know MTashed is joking right now, and I'm very, very aware that he's joking, but at the same time, he's apparently, like, a lot of people watch his content, and a lot of people like engage with him, and he has a platform. And right now, I'm assuming he's making a very, very bold claim that something is ruining the Crucible. So, in a sense, like, he's trying to be taken seriously here on some level. There's a goal to this. He wants you to hear this, and the fact that he's making this error is really, really telling. Like, whenever you just like call people names for using a certain strategy, like, you're not really bettering yourself, and it really exemplifies a poor mindset towards a game. Like, even the most gimmicky, cheesy strat, I mean, Bungie put it in the game. Nobody has to go with your gentleman's agreements. You can equip the same guns. Like, just, you're off to a really, really bad start if that's your mindset. And I recommend you to have a more positive mindset. Personally, you can definitely view things as broken or overpowered, but it's just not really acceptable for a mature adult to be considering people in that light. And I have a feeling he, deep down, even though he's joking about it, he had a little inkling and kernel of him seriously has that feeling.
What is this what is this intro? Guys, the Last Word has been broken since it came out.
It came out in January of 2018 or 2019, if I remember correctly, and since then, I don't know if I've been playing the same game, but what I've remembered about the year since then is I've remembered people complaining about Recluse, Not Forgotten, and Luna's Howl, Ace of Spades. I remember people complaining about those kinds of guns, which is weird, and I'll get into that in a bit. But what I remember being broken is stuff like Arc Battery. Thank God that was a seasonal thing. I remember OEM. I remember No Backup Plans fusion rifles, which are still a problem. I remember Lord of Wolves. I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now. Because it's not going to take long for him to mention kill times, because I guarantee you that kill times will be heavily involved in this video. Most of the broken stuff, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I'm not right to say this, don't really have kill times in this game. Like, that's just how this game works. And that's what I remembered for the last year. I haven't actually remembered people complaining about Last Word until like 3 months, actually around the time Recluse got nerfed. So again, I guess the cycle continues. Nothing is new under the sun. There's always going to be a broken gun. And then I go into this video knowing that MTashed is just grasping for wind, and he'll never be satisfied. So that's.
And now
any player will never be satisfied.
Talking about it for the 50th time.
That sounds like an unhealthy fixation.
The Last Word is fundamentally broken.
Okay, when you're going in to make a serious argument, what you don't do is you use words like inherently or fundamentally, because you're actually not making an argument. You haven't actually put out any evidence. He hasn't even said anything about the gun yet. He's literally pulled it up and looked at it. And he says it's fundamentally broken. Like, just avoid doing that, especially if you're gonna make it's filler, it's trash. You don't need to say that.
It has a body shot time to kill as
yes, 30 seconds in, we're already on kill times.
Fast as headshot time to kill of most hand cannons in the game, and it requires absolutely zero skill.
Okay, so far our arguments are it requires absolutely zero skill, and I'll get into that, I'm sure. And it's fundamentally broken. It has a 0.8 body second kill time. So we can ignore 2 of those arguments, and so far we're left with it has a 0.8 second time to kill. And so far that sounds like that's going to be the crutch of this. That's going to be the, if we're talking about a crutch gun, the crutch argument of this video already sounds like it's going to be a 0.8 second body shot time to kill. Let's continue.
Use. Well, MTashed, it's a low-range weapon. Doesn't matter. Well, MTashed,
What's funny is my voice sounds like I'm a lot younger than I am, and I have a really high voice, so I almost feel like I'm being personally called out by that, which is kind of sad, but, you know. The fact that he's strawmanning that is really, really interesting, because I am going to go into every other aspect of the last word, because as somebody who knows a lot about first-person shooters and has talked to people who have developed have been developers of first-person shooters, and I know a lot about the physics, we're going to be talking a lot about things that are not the 0.8 second time to kill, things that actually matter. In fact, so many that I probably can't list them, and we'll have to talk about them as they come up. And the fact that he's strawmanning that in the first 43 seconds of the video is really, really telling about how intellectually honest this video is going to be.
I don't have any excuses because the gun's busted.
And somehow I'm about to make, I can already see, what, this 15 minutes? I can already see like 45 minutes to an hour worth of content in this video. And again, this is not going to have any production value at all, so I'm just doing this in one take. Sorry.
Oh, I know that. The gun is dumb. This gun...
Ooh, we have another argument. The gun is dumb.
Has been a problem for a long time, but now...
Again, I don't remember anybody calling this a problem. This gun has existed for 5 years, and I think maybe it was a problem. You have to remember, there was a time when this gun actually had, in Destiny 1, keep in mind that last word, the firing ballistics or under the hood, has not changed from Destiny 1 to 2, except for that maybe the stat values got shuffled around a little bit. But the actual frame of the gun and how it works has not changed. It actually used to do more damage to the body. It used to do 68 damage to the body, with aggressive ballistics causing it to be a 3-hit kill from across the map due to the fact that there was like no damage drop-off in Destiny 1. And the problem with Last Word then was that you could aim down sights, and because the game has interpolation, the game would glitch and forget that the gun was not ADS'd all the way, and it would do 102 to 112 damage depending on what ballistics you used. And that was a problem with Last Word at the time, and that's really the only time I think I've remembered people complaining about the gun besides 2 months ago. And I'm not really an advocate of revising history, so I'm going to point that out. And literally the title of this video just proves him. He calls it the new Recluse. Like, people were just complaining about Recluse. Like, people have been complaining about all sorts of things since Destiny started, and every time somebody complains about a new thing, they pretend like it's the only thing that's been complained about, and it's just like the last thing that will be complained about, and if Snack Daddy Bungie fixes it, they'll be satisfied.
Now that something like the Recluse is gone...
Again, it's an astounding level of astounding lack of self-awareness here. It's the new Recluse.
Well, it's even more nutty, and I'm going to show you...
Is it? If it was more nutty, then why did Recluse need nerfed? Why were you not on this? Maybe he was. Why were people not on this then? Like, why were people not on Last Word when Not Forgotten was around? And by the way, this game would be so much better if Not Forgotten hadn't gotten nerfed. Then maybe this video wouldn't even be a thing. And also I want to point out that he's loading up a Rumble right now. And if you wanted to prove that Last Word is good, which rides or dies on its ability to win ones at the outside of shotgun range, but before more long-range hand cannons become consistent. In other words, the 12 to 17 meter range, which is a pretty nice band. Like, that's what Last Word lives or dies on. If you want to load up Rumble, this would be a really, really good way to prove your point. And because of that, then I'm just guessing that if we're going to get a bunch of Rumble footage, like, really nothing in this video is going to matter, because this is not representative of the 3v3. This isn't even close to representative of like tournaments or Bungie's competitive mode or anything really. Like, It's like, why would you load up Rumble? Like, you're literally just, you're being intellectually dishonest here. Like, don't really, nobody cares about Rumble. All right, moving on.
You right now, okay? No one-eyed mask, no bullshit. I'm just going to sprint at people with this gun, and I'm going to...
First of all, notice the drop-off was really, really heavy there, and if he would have shot 4 body shots, which again, this is what his video rides or dies on, he would not have been able to get a 4 body shot on that player. Also, that player is not moving, and I feel like that's also representative about what we're about to see, because and also look, this person's clearly like just AFKing the game. Like, I have a feeling we're just gonna run around with last word, press W, do literally what he says against players who can't do anything about it because he's just so much better than them, because he's probably played Destiny a lot and is a skilled player. Like, I'm not gonna argue that MTashed isn't a skilled player, but I think it's really dishonest that he would, and kind of silly that he'd go into a Rumble match and just farm players with a gun to prove his point.
I'm just gonna do that over.
Okay, you're just going to do that. Is everybody going to literally be standing still? Because if so, I almost want to tab out of this and just be like, we're done. But unfortunately, I'm dedicating myself to making this video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I'm going to continue.
Over again, okay? Obviously, a little bit out of range. I wasn't getting max damage.
A little bit? You wouldn't have been able to 4-tap. That's your argument.
But guess what? It doesn't matter.
It did matter.
Because even if you're not at max range... Okay, well, I'm not fighting that.
Yes, because he has a shotgun. So this goes to one point that I really, really want to make here, and I'm probably going to keep making, is the ranges where people feel like last word is unfair, it kind of becomes redundant with the shotgun. If you have a good quick draw Mindbenders and you're running it with spare Ashens, you can do so much as tap somebody with spare Ashens and flip out your Mindbenders and kill them from 11 meters away. Keep in mind that hunters, which are very, very meta right now, also have a dodge, and any class has a slide. You could end up being within threat of getting killed by a shotgun from as much as 13 meters away. So anytime you get a kill within 13 meters with last word, you're just doing something that's redundant with a shotgun, and you could have had a shotgun equipped and done the same thing and had a 0-second time to kill, because, as I will say, most of the broken things in Destiny that are truly not good for the game don't have kill times. And that's not saying shotguns are overpowered. I have mixed opinions on that issue, and I'm not going to go into them, but that's not this video. I'm just saying that in these ranges, last word is incredibly redundant, and if we're about to see MTashed run around a Rumble lobby and fight in that range, then I guess Bob's your uncle, and I don't really need to say much.
He's got a shotgun. What? What is that, true Vanguard flying through the air?
Yes, you're playing against randoms. They do all kinds of crazy shit.
I'm gonna die? Or am I?
Look, the guy misses his shotgun shot, slides in, you punch him. Like, why do you have last word equipped? Why would you have last word equipped? You have punches and all kinds of stuff. Like, this is Destiny. Like, you don't need last word to kill people in that range.
I'm a god? Question mark?
No, you didn't even.
Oh. Well.
All right, so what I'm gonna do throughout this video, and this is not to insult the people he's playing against. He's a good player, and probably these people see his name in the lobby and get like a little nervous or whatever. That guy jumps up, and he literally floofs over to him and makes himself a prime target. If I were that player, I would have gotten behind that box that he was just in front of and then slid in and mindbendered him with the shotgun that I don't know if he has or not. And then last word wouldn't even gotten that kill. Still, again, we're fighting in last words, in where last word is effective, but where shotguns would be redundant.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to fight me? I'm.
Okay, this is actually last words. This is last words range. He started out before that guy could have started sliding. This is what last word is supposed to do. This is what makes the gun very powerful. And in this video, I will in no way say that last word is not powerful. Like, that's just not something I'm going to do. Last word is in fact very, very powerful. I'm just going to discuss this in more detail. This is what last word is meant to do. And this is also kind of a drag on him because, again, he set this up to be like this. He put himself in a Rumble and he's on Twilight Gap. Like, if you wanted to prove that last word is overpowered, this is where you would go.
Oh, is someone else coming down this hallway would like to
20-meter hallway
to have a little
within your range,
chat with me,
effective range of your gun,
or maybe a little chat with my gun.
Okay, so here's the deal about what just happened there. If he were using a spare, first of all, he tap fired. He didn't actually max his ROF, which again, he's assuming his entire argument is that you max ROF last word. He did not. He tapped it, and he still missed. And the reason is because of all the other things that go into the gun, like the low range and the low aim assist. With spare rations, he could have shot the guy once and then twice and then dropped off and then shot him a third time before he would have been in shotgun range. He would have gotten the kill. Or if he would have been a little bit, what you want to do with last word, I'm going to give you a tip, is if he would have shot and then tapped, and what you want to do with last word is tap slower and slower as you get down the clip. If he would have waited a little bit while till just under the point where that guy was out of sight as he was falling down, he would have gotten the kill, but he doesn't use the gun that often, obviously.
Oh, he's so lucky.
Yes, no. There is something you could have done because you don't use this gun much.
These guys are so scared. I could just stay here all day. I'll take on 2 at a time.
You have 8 bullets. Yes, that is actually how many you can take on at a time. If you miss a single bullet, you can't actually take on 2 at a time. Is actually really, really ambitious. Man, let's see if he does that.
Bring your sisters! I don't even have to aim.
Yes, you did. That's why you missed 3 shots on 2 targets who were at 50 health that you both killed. Keep in mind that if he was using spare Ashens right there, that entire corner right there would have been a hurt box. In other words, if he would have just pointed anywhere in that corner, he would have gotten, he would have done damage.
Oh wow! Did you think you could challenge the last word, bro?
Yes, he could. He had a linear fusion rifle, and had he hit you, you would have died. And you weren't exactly doing any intricate movement. So if he were a better player, you would have actually died there. Which again, 90% of the guns in this game that are actually a problem don't actually have kill times.
I guess I had the last word in that fight, didn't I? Okay, I don't.
Okay, so you have a guy with I guess Wings of Sacred Dawn just jumping up, making him a prime target. Again, this like that guy might as well have been standing still. Like MTashed is trying to make a serious argument. He's loading Rumble lobby. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but he is loading in Rumble lobbies and just dumping on kids who can't, or not kids. Sorry, I'm being a little bit toxic. On people who aren't making the most optimal decisions and using that as an argument. Like, he's doing what the gun does.
I don't know what you're doing.
I didn't know what he was doing either.
Okay, well, there's just like 900 grenades coming my way. Let's just pop. Oh, what? They're all right.
Yeah, because you missed, because the gun, you can't just automatically get headshots with the gun. That's just how the gun works.
No.
Yep, there you go, dude. He gets killed with his punches because right now he could have a shotgun equipped and probably do a lot better than he would with last word. And then he would have also had a spare to actually hit that guy who got away probably twice. He would have hit them, and then he'd be weaker health, but that guy's gonna come back. And earlier he was talking about grenades. Like, again, most of the things that are crazy in Destiny are like not guns. And here's this guy, and he misses twice. Talks about how the gun does.
I don't even have to aim the gun. It does the aiming.
Am I like psychic? Like, yes, you missed 2 shots. You missed.
Oh, what's this?
MTashed missed. Here, what happened there is MTashed misses 2 shots, and that other guy misses 2 shots. The other guy is using a gun with much better hit registration. So again, like, what is MTashed?
My aim is terrible, and I still kill you first because the time to kill is insanity.
The time to kill there would have been 1.25, or the effective, or the real time, or I guess the real time to kill there was 1.5 seconds because he missed 2 shots, or no, 1.26 seconds because he missed 2 shots. The other guy, if he'd even landed 1 more shot, would have killed MTashed. Again, MTashed is flexing his gun skill, which he has. I mean, he has gun skill. I think he's played other first-person shooters. I don't really know his background, but if he plays the game as much as I imagine he would to be a content creator with as much views he does, I'm assuming he plays this game a lot. So yeah, he probably has more gun skill than other people. Like, if that's what I'm going to see in this video, it's going to be
alright. Now you have to remember, I'm playing typically because of skill-based matchmaking.
You're probably just playing the first 7 people that will come up in a Rumble lobby because nobody plays Rumble, and I know this for a fact because when I played Rumble, I get paired with people who are significantly under my skill level, and I win like 60% of my Rumbles, and that's not saying I'm really, really skilled at the game. That's saying that in Rumble, you're going to be paired against one person who's maybe close to you. If you're really good at the game, and I'm not saying I'm like extremely good, but I'm pretty good at the game, or I'm assuming MTashed is pretty good at the game, you're gonna get paired with somebody who's close to you, and like a bunch of people are just bots, and it's gonna be a competition about who farms the players the fastest, or the players. I don't even want to call them bots. I'm gonna play players who are learning the game, because that's where you go into Rumble. That's what Rumble is for. It's to learn it's to learn the game. It's to take your gun out and learn how it works against people who are constantly in 1v1s. It's a great place to do that. And again, this is a really, really shitty place for MTash to make his point. And also, by no means, we've already seen what the players do who he's paired against. Clearly, he's just straight up lying right now.
Some nutty...
There we go. Finally, somebody with a shotgun just kills them, because that's how shotguns work. They just kill you in half the range where last word is effective.
Lobby. I mean, this guy is just an unbroken champion pushing through with the chaperone, right? So
I've with my friend gotten somebody with a 0.5 KD to legend. Unbroken does not really make you a champion.
He's gonna have a pretty optimal time to kill in a lot of duels. He will use Not Forgotten. He will use Ace of...
If I remember correctly, was he actually using... He was using a secondary shotgun, so I don't think that's actually possible. Was he using Chaperone? I don't know.
Spades, he'll use Thorn...
These, you can't even use these guns together, he's listing.
Whatever it is. And
does he play this game?
He's going to land most of his headshots. And so I might not...
See, this is what last word is supposed to do. This is what it does. If that guy had a shotgun equipped, he'd be getting kind of counter right now. Assuming MTash would have landed the first headshot, he would fare well against a shotgunner. Like, again, this is what last word is supposed to do.
Notice the time to kill difference
he almost
that much.
dies.
I might not abuse people as much in this lobby.
We've all used Wi-Fi for stuff like this.
Cool, monetization.
But if you go against the average potato, and you're...
You mean the kind of average potato who like AFKs or jumps up with Wings of Sacred Dawn and just like floats up? And honestly, that's not even fair to that guy, because again, you go into Rumble and you're learning the game. Like, I'm not going to trash talk other people in this lobby.
Your skill-based matchmaking isn't the level of mine.
Oh my god, what a flex right there, man. Okay, so here's some insider, here's like a fun fact. Like, I've paired against MTashed once, or actually a couple times, and he was using last word. I don't know if he was making footage for this video or not, but the thing is he didn't win a last word gunfight, and I think the ending match score was 20-19 or something like that. I have like the footage somewhere, but it's a little bit arrogant.
You will
right there. Here's what I'm gonna say. There's spare Ashens right there. So let's talk about spare Ashens. Spare Ashens is a 150 RPM hand cannon. It gives you lightweight. It gives you lightweight, which, fun fact, lightweight isn't built into the frame of the gun. It's a perk they add in afterwards, even though it says lightweight frame on it. Under the hood, it is a lightweight. It was what's called a lightweight frame, but it also has the lightweight perk, which is why that guy just was able to strafe a bunch really, really fast. And its headshot, and I've measured this, its headshot hurt box size at 15 meters is as wide as last word's body shot hurt box, which in this range, this makes this actually gives the advantage to the person who's using spare Ashens. If you notice, MTash does 45 damage. MTash would have to get a headshot, which again throws his entire argument out the window that you can just get 4 body shots and kill people. He would have to actually get a headshot to win this gunfight. And obviously, because the spare Ashens user has a much bigger hurt box and is in its effective range and has no drop off with its magnetism, aim assist, whatever you want to call it, and its damage, he lost the gunfight. Because this is where spare Ashens is good. If that guy were, say, 3 meters closer to him, then MTash would be in his advantageous range. If that guy were 6 meters closer to him, then MTash would be shotgunned. So again, like, MTashed's footage here is really just kind of proving whatever. I don't quite know what point I'm going to be making in this video, and I'm probably going to be making a lot of points, but MTashed's footage is so far just proving my point.
Shit on kids. You will destroy
You didn't shit on this kid.
kids. I'm telling you, look at this guy's
He's not even at the top of the leaderboard.
a YouTuber, a Clutch TV YouTuber.
I have a YouTube account. You have a YouTube account. I think it takes like a minute to make one. Like there's so many people who had like have .tvs and .yts in their name. Like you run into them all the time.
YouTube. Oh, wow. Watch TV YouTube. Well,
Okay, so if he wanted to actually make a video, this is what he would do. If he wanted to make a point, like an actual true point, and because I'm very charitable, I'm gonna make arguments for him. If he wanted to make about a point about Last Word being broken, what he would actually want to be doing is showcasing himself sniping people and then pulling out Last Word and getting more kills. I could talk about that argument more and I would have points to make against that, but that isn't this video. Personally, I don't like double body shots, and this is just an aside. I don't like double body shots on snipers. I'm a sniper. I have tens of thousands of kills with snipers. And I don't think snipers should be doing as much damage to the body as they should. I don't think they should be double bodies. I think you should have to hit the head in PvP anyways. But yeah, he could make that video.
How about a double body shot for you, buddy? Put that on your channel. Maybe you'll get a view.
Wow, he's really just kind of being shitty. Wow, I thought this... I thought, you know, as a YouTube, like, he wouldn't be like... It's kind of like a... Again, that guy just straight up misses his shot. Like, what are you proving? And MTashed here misses a shot with a gun that, quote unquote, takes no skill, requires no... He's missing shots. He's, like, proving my point.
Guys, it's so
And there, he gets killed by a shotgun. Like, I didn't even need to be a chaperone. He could have just gone a little bit further and killed him with a mindbenders. Like... The powerful guns in this game don't have kill times.
stupid. Hit that.
What even happened in that gunfight? What? Again, he's at a range where he couldn't 4-tap body shot, so I don't know
Auto
why he's
rifle out of my
showcasing
face.
this. That guy just missed half his shots.
Look, he shot first, and I still
Like literally nothing is
knew.
happening. I'm wondering if there's gonna be a point in this video I can even say more.
Okay.
Like, okay, it's redundant with Last Word. Okay, he did. That's what a hand cannon. This is what a hand cannon does. This is why hand cannons are good. Is because semi-automatic weapons you can peek in and out of cover and take shots. That's what he's doing right now. This is just what a good player does. And because he's doing that, he's not using the max ROF of Last Word, which basically means his whole point doesn't apply here. If you're gonna make a point and have a thesis of your video, you're going to want your entire video to be proving your point. And so far, I have not seen him prove his point. In fact, he's proving the opposite of his point. This is like antithetical.
Hey.
This is the video he should have been making. Why is this not 15 minutes of him doing this and then occasionally whipping out Last Word and getting kills? Like, this is the video he should be making.
Hey.
Like, why are you getting all these kills in shotgun range and calling your gun broken?
Now, the Recluse was an issue for a long, long time.
Yeah, and so was Not Forgotten, so was Graviton Lance, and so was Ace of Spades, and so was, like... Oh, man, I feel like we're about to go out on a tangent on Recluse here.
It came out, it was a busted gun.
Okay, again, you can't just say something's busted. Like, I feel like if enough content creators like say a gun is busted, then it just becomes busted. But I actually don't know if so far we actually haven't gotten many arguments. So far we have Last Word is dumb, it's inherently OP, and 0.8 kill time body shots. So far nowhere in that footage. I don't even think how many times did he even get the 0.8 body. How many times did he actually spam 4 body shots and then hit all of them and get a kill? Because I don't think it even happened yet. Because first of all, it doesn't happen because half the time you'll be in shotgun range, the other half the time you'll be far enough where 4-hit body shots will be bloomed and you'll have to hit a headshot, which is significantly harder to do with Last Word than Spare Rations. Like,
body shot time to kill when you had Master at Arms proc.
When you had Master of Arms procced. Operative word there.
Was like 0.43 or something stupid. It was
0.43. Okay, so I'm going to have a little blurb about kill times here. The average kill time for Call of Duty is like 0.2 seconds, and you don't move very fast. The highest there being 0.3 seconds. CS:GO has optimal kill times of 0. So if you aim good enough with a gun, you will get a kill. In Halo, the kill times are 1 second or more, and you tend to move really, really slowly. In Destiny, the kill times have varied wildly based on who's at the helm of the balance team. as the heads of the balance team and where the direction of the game has been going. It's gotten kind of slower until they revamp things in Taken King. Or sorry, not Taken King. Actually, no, the kill times were really fast before Taken King, and then they kind of changed that into Taken King, and then it kind of all went slower from there up until Destiny 2 Year 1, which they just made 2 primaries, and everybody hated that, and then they fixed that with Year 2, and now maybe we might have that again with Year 3 when content creators complain again, because that's just what they do, and they're never satisfied. Anyways, back to kill times. Sort of proving my point that there's a lot more to kill times. There are lots of games with entirely different kill times, and they play entirely differently from each other simply due to how those kill times work. Like, you wouldn't go into CSGO and say all the guns have a 0-second kill time, because that's like something that a professional player or a really good player would do to sort of like flex their aiming, is go into a fight and just like start doming people with their guns that are really, really hard to get hits on. Like, that's like, kill times are like, I would say half the story, but not even half the story when it comes to guns, because, and that's really all. There's like a whole video on it, and I might, if I ever make this into a Reddit thread, I'll actually link that video that goes into depth about kill times, and how kill times need to be optimized for the physics engines, and they need to be optimized for how the gun will be used and what role the gun will have in the sandbox. The fact that he pulls up Recluse right now is really, really telling, because honestly, I think SMGs, I think Last Word, if you're making a comparison, at the beginning of this video I said Last Word is fundamentally incomparable to other hand cannons due to the fact that its ballistics are just so different and how it works. I would say that it's more comparable to an SMG. And SMGs fill a different role, and they were meant to fill a completely different role than hand cannons, and you shouldn't be comparing them to hand cannons, otherwise you're being, I'm going to do this, intellectually dishonest. Now, let's see what he says about
It was
Recluse.
less than half a second.
With the perk proc.
It was insanity. You didn't have to aim at the head. This was
With the perk proc.
an easy use, easy kill, hard to win
With the perk proc.
against it if you're not using it type gun.
With the perk proc.
It is a big bang for your buck. There was a low skill gap,
With the perk proc.
but a massive payoff. It was one of those.
Okay, so I believe Recluse did like 19 to the head and like 13 to the body, and yeah, my in-head math says that you actually do get rewarded for your, and I can't believe I'm defending Recluse right now, but I might as well, because that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to defend this gun because it was the last gun that got hit. I can defend Not Forgotten because it was the gun before that, and I'm going to defend the next gun once these players have Snack Daddy Bungie get their way and get Last Word nerfed, whatever gun, the highest poppy that gets chopped. I'm going to defend that gun because that's just what I do. Recluse did 19 to the head, and I think I did 11 to 14 to the body, but there's clearly you get rewarded for hitting heads with Recluse. So to get the perk off, which again I just said the word if the perk is procced 5 times, to get your perk proc you actually do have to get kills with a gun, and because you're not in 6v6, if he's arguing about like Rumble and 6v6, like, good on him. Like, he might as well have not even made this video, because all that really matters in Destiny is like a proof of how skilled you are is like 3v3 survival type modes or elimination. And like that perk, you get 4 seconds. That perk is just not going to happen that often. Either somebody's going to be too far away for the gun to even do that kind of damage, or like maybe once or twice a game will you win a gunfight entirely because you killed one person and then farm the next person with the perk. Like, a good team is not going to be standing back to back to back. And even if they were, after getting the first kill, you would be weak and the other person could clean you up. So you're not going to be farming people with Recluse. The only time that was the case was with OEM, and OEM made a lot of things broken.
Guns that anyone could use and could use effectively. I'm talking gun that you could push in and kill 4 people
With the perk proc.
and probably come out on top.
Okay, 4 people all just need to shoot you once to kill you. This is just straight up like stupid what he's saying. Like, maybe if you had OEM, but OEM actually takes time, would actually take time at like, what's with this hyperbole? And this is generally a problem that YouTubers and content creators have, is they talk about guns that they want Snack Daddy Bungie to nerf. And I say that really cynically. They talk about them as if they're always in their best case scenario. With the Recluse, that's being within 15 meters and having its perk procced. According to what he's saying so far, you would believe that the perk just procs upon spawning in. And I have a feeling that that's how he's going to talk about Last Word through this video, and that's how he's talked about it so far. And I feel like if he ever makes a video about something ruining the Crucible again, that's how he's going to talk about it, just assuming everything's procced. You're in the most ideal scenario possible for the gun. Like, we're literally talking about a perk that activates for 3 seconds, and he's pretending like this perk goes on for 15 minutes, a whole game.
Top because of how fast you can melt them. This
With the perk proc.
gun is dumb.
I would say, okay, so if you live in a state where you can take a rip every time he says this gun is dumb. Or take a shot or whatever. Yeah, fundamentally, like, this gun is fundamentally broken. This gun is dumb.
And they nerfed it, thank God.
Thank God, yes, thank God. Right, thank God. Snack Daddy Bungie gave you what you wanted.
Still good, but this thing was the epitome of what the hell is wrong with the balance team?
What? Wait, what the? Okay, so this really, really pisses me off, and I'm sorry, this is just not something you do. I actually know people who work for Bungie, and I know they work really, really, really fucking hard. And if you want to sound like an absolute asshat, and I'm really, really sorry for being this sort of passionate about this, if you want to sound like an asshat, and like literally everybody else in every other competitive game ever, just insult the developers. Just insult the developers, and you can just skyrocket yourself straight up to being an asshat. Because I played MMOs, I played MMORTSs, I played fucking card games, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Halos. Played all the Halos. I played CS:GO, Overwatch. And I sound like I'm older. Again, I sound like I'm older than or younger than I am. But going back to Diablo 2, like, people have been and always will be shit talking the devs, and to see somebody with such a platform just like shit talk people who have like a very hard job. Like, this is an MMO FPS. Like, FPSs on their own are already really, really hard to balance. Like CS:GO, which only has like a few guns, like, they have a sandbox team and they have to balance. This game has like a bajillion different guns and strats in it, and the fact that you would shit talk the developer as somebody with 4.8k likes and who's you're making money off this game, dude. Like, they work hard for their paychecks, and you're sitting here just making money off of this video that's only said 3 things so far, and you're gonna shit talk the devs. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, why are we here?
Now,
It's just insufferable.
I understand.
Sorry. That's the tangent specifically for that. I don't know if he meant if this is it's just something he regularly does. But just please, I highly advise you not to do that. And if you do that, I would advise you apologize very quickly. And just, sometimes you're very, very heated, but clearly he's very well edited this video. He's actually edited this video. He has B-roll footage. He's made cuts. Like, he edited this and he kept that in. He wanted to say that, and it's kind of inexcusable. You just don't do that. Just don't.
Understand that this is a pinnacle weapon. I understand that it was difficult to get for some people, but it's not that hard to get. And it was drastically better than every gun in the game.
Considering this gun fully drops off and almost loses hit registration at 20 meters, no, it was not better than every gun in the game. And I don't know has this guy like been playing the game, because Lord of Wolves was a thing, backup plans, fusions. Sorry, I'm gonna be doing a lot of sighing. It's just people were complaining about Not Forgotten, just so many, and literally he himself said Last Word has been a problem since it came out. And he said Last Word is more busted. Why was this the most powerful gun in the game? If you're literally saying the exact opposite of what you said earlier. If Last Word was truly more powerful than this gun, then why has this been the most powerful gun in the game? I don't understand. Like, can somebody tell me? Like, am I crazy? Like, this sounds like a paradox. Sounds like self-contradiction here.
It was perfect in PvE. It was perfect in PvP.
Okay, it was too good in PvE.
Perfect. Now, one of the issues with this is the body shot, or was, I should say, the body shot time to kill. The body shot time to kill means that you don't have to be precise and you get a massive payoff.
With the perk.
And that was a big problem for me. And it's
If that's a big problem for you, maybe like stay alive or something, or like don't stand next to your teammates or right next to them, and don't play sixes because you're just not gonna have fun if you play sixes and like expect things to not just be a party. Like sixes is like, and this goes back to like what Cammy Cakes I know has said in the past. Like sixes is like Mario Kart. You don't go there to like compete. You go there to get. If you're going there to be frustrated about like weird strats and stuff that you don't like you're going to be disappointed. And if you fundamentally in life in general want to be disappointed, you will find a way to be disappointed. Like maybe he's disappointed with Destiny in general, and maybe he's burnt out and needs to play a different game. I don't know. Maybe that's. But like if you go into 6v6, you're just with his mindset that he's advertising here. Like you're gonna be disappointed.
Always been a big problem for me because someone who's precise.
Clearly, you're missing a ton of shots with last word earlier, so I don't know how precise you are.
Probably benefit from that, right? So
He probably is pretty precise, but again, like I don't think he knows what precise is. There are people like I'm a GM hit scan main in Overwatch, and I've watched CS:GO tournaments, and I played CS:GO. Like I played real aim grind games, and if you want to know like precise, like if you see somebody who's like killing you really fast with a sniper or 180 killing you, it's just because like there are people who have really good aim in this game, who have insane aim, like insane aim, who have ground aim for like thousands of hours and done nothing else, who will look like aimbots to players who come from console and then hop onto PC, because that's just how well you can aim at the highest level of PC play. Now, keep in mind that Destiny really isn't an aim grind game. It's kind of like a hybrid of movement and angular speed and like positioning. But yeah, compared to like people who like actually like are hit scan players in games that are aim grind type games or what you would call 2D shooters. Sorry, nah, buddy. And even I would say as a GM hit scan main, I mean GM in Overwatch is not even in the top 500. Like I'm not, I can't hold a candle to players like Skadoodle. Or sorry, that's a CS:GO player. I couldn't hold a candle to players like Kefri, who's actually not a pro player, but he's a streamer and he's like a top 500. I couldn't hold a candle to Birdring, and like it would be insulting to even mention my own name in a sentence. But like, I'm sorry, buddy, our aim isn't good. And Mr. MTashed.
somebody who's precise and good with a weapon should probably.
Yes, and somebody who's precise and good with a weapon will have the perk procced, which is something you're assuming, which in your argument you're assuming the perk is procced for the entire game.
Come out on top.
Not.
But even if you were precise with every gun in the game, if you had the best aim in the game
Against somebody with a perk procced.
you still couldn't beat the body shot time to kill.
Oh,
And that's messed up. That is super messed up. But there's a
Yes, if the gun had a 0.45 second body shot time to kill, and the perk were actually procced the entire game, yes, that would actually be a problem.
another gun that is a problem. There's another gun that is just like that, and it's been like that from the start. And now that the Recluse is nerfed, it has risen to the top.
Okay, so earlier you said Last Word was even better than Recluse, and now in a true demonstration of lack of self-awareness, you said it's risen to the top. Like, what's going to rise to the top next? Are you ever going to be satisfied? Is there ever going to be anything new under the sun with content creation? Are we just like here to make a 15-minute video? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could go and list all the guns that have been broken for the past year since Last Word, and I could talk about how nobody has talked about Last Word until recently, until a bunch of nerfs. But like, it's unsustainable. You can't just have Snack Daddy Bungie nerf whatever you want nerfed every time you feel like there's something that's a problem.
It is just as annoying. It is just as broken, in my opinion.
Now it's just as. So first it was too powerful, or it's more powerful than Recluse, but it's somehow been around the whole time, and somehow it's the new Recluse, even though it should have been the old Recluse if we're going in order. But then it's Recluse is even more powerful because then it's even more powerful than Recluse. And now it's the same power as like, are we going to get our facts straight
And
here?
it has more range. The Last Word. Brothers, this gun is so stupid.
Okay, so we've now said the word stupid like 4 times. Like, depending on what you're drinking, you're starting to get drunk right now.
It has been stupid from the very start. And
From the very start. Yep.
And all they have to do...
Why didn't you make a video from the very start? Are you not ahead of your time? Like, if you want to be the spicy content creator, why don't you make a video about the second handheld Supernova comes out, and talk about how that's eventually going to be busted with Controverse holds, and that's probably going to be down the line something people really, really, really talk about after now the void of OEM hasn't been filled. But like why has he not made this video a year ago if it's been so broken from the start? And my answer to that is because other guns existed that these people also got. And I say these people as in content creators and people who just have nothing better to do than complain got nerfed. If those guns were still around, like,
is make one tiny little
tiny little
change to make it a little bit more manageable, a little bit more doable.
For you!
Okay, this gun, it just needs a minor fix.
To please you. Make you happy.
Let me just show you something quick. Okay, so I zoomed in on this.
Oh my god, he pulled up a kill time chart. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He pulled up a kill time chart. He just gave me so much content. Just add another 30 minutes to this video. I'm thinking right now. Just look at this. Oh my god, we're pulling up a kill time chart. Now, if you're watching this video, like, if you're watching this video, you might as well just totally cover up that whole right side of the chart, because there's no way he's going to talk about that at all, because he's being as intellectually dishonest as possible from what I've seen so far.
This thing, and I want to show you this chart because I think it's really important. This is the optimal time.
The left half of the chart, you should say.
Time to kill. That is the fastest you can kill someone with a weapon. In the case of a 110 RPM, that's 2 headshot, 1 body shot. And it's the body shot time to kill if you just rattle them off into someone's body. Now, if you look at the optimal time to kill of a 110 RPM hand cannon, it is 100. Well, it's 1 second, 1.0 seconds.
Yep, you're experiencing digital eye strain.
Man, how many guys are on this?
That's right.
You're really making bank off videos like this.
Right? The body shot time to kill is 1.6 seconds. And this right here, this time to kill on the body this is where you're going to see the major...
Here's the thing about slow killing hand cannons. If you were to pick up Destiny for the first time and try out a good gun to use would be a slow firing hand cannon, because they have lots of range. They're pretty easy to hit with, and they're pretty forgiving. Like, you don't need to hit all headshots. And just guns like that need to exist. There need to be guns like that. Also, one thing he's forgetting to mention is the niche these guns have with the Rampage spec, and the fact they can roll cool things like rangefinder. Like, I personally have a Duke with the rangefinder Rampage. I have a Rampage spec on it with high caliber rounds and a range masterwork, and that one sight that increases the range, and it can get a 0.5 second kill time with it. It's a fun gun to use, but again, like, we need guns that are just fun to use, and I would never say Duke is like a good gun to use or anything like that, but you know, it's just fun guns. And also, those guns have good finishing potential, and the fact that they do more damage means they kill from longer ranges. I'm in no way arguing that these guns are good, but this just goes to show how little he's going to actually talk. He is and has and probably will talk about these guns.
Major discrepancy. This is the one that's like, oh my god.
If I were to make the guns better, I would just make them fire a little faster.
It's a
120,
0.87 time to kill and a 1.
And yet somehow Ace of Spades is really overpowered, according to everybody and their mom like a year ago.
0.73 body.
So the advantage of these, if you go off to the right, is they have lots of blues on them. They have good range, good aim assist. They tend to have really, really good perks, and they're impossible to miss with headshots. Now, keep in mind that guns like Ace of Spades, the literal perk of Ace of Spades was it turned it into a Destiny 1 hand cannon. All of these hand cannons require more shots or headshots to kill than Destiny 1 hand cannons. Like, if 110s did 90, I don't know if they do. In how much do they do? I think 110s are actually similar to Destiny 1, but 140s did 87 to the head rather than 70, and 150s did 75 to the head in Destiny 1. So this is just to show you that we're not even, like, how many times this nerf cycle has continued. Even though Bungie brought up the power with Forsaken, it still pales into comparison with Destiny 1, especially Destiny 1 Year 1. Like the fact that we're making arguments about any of these guns being unhealthy is just, it's so sad in my mind.
Body shot time to kill. Oddly enough, the body shot time to kill is actually slower on 140s. Now on a 150 RPM, it is a...
Yes, this is a gun, he's going straight to spare rations. This is a gun that everybody uses. And there's a reason. It's because it's a really good gun, and I'm in nowhere you're going to say it's overpowered. I'm going to say it's very, very powerful in doing what it does. Spare rations lets you equip a shotgun because you have a good effective range with a good roll on it. It kills in 0.8 seconds. It's incredibly easy to hit the headshots. And the skill gap on spare rations, it does take skill. I'm not going to argue that it doesn't, is how fast you can aim it and get it on target. Because if we're going to use the left side of this kill time chart, I'm going to talk about something real quick that nobody talks about, and that's if you go into footage of people playing the game, for the most part, a third of the kill time of any gun is actually just people aiming down sights with the gun and putting it on target, because nobody actually has their gun directly on the target when they shoot. They actually have to take their time to react to it, and they all have to move the gun onto the target. And spare rations is really, really good at letting you get to the target quickly, because you don't have to get all the way onto the target. You just have to get within the bullet magnetism hitbox, and from there, Bob's your uncle, because you can max ROF it really, really easily and get 3 headshots. How do we know that? Just literally look off to the right, because that entire column, or that entire side of it, is blue. And there's a reason people use good guns, because they're good. Like, why wouldn't you use a gun like that? It has 92 aim assists, a really, really forgiving hurt box, 76 handling, it handles really well, and has a perfect up and down recoil direction. And its stability is decent too. Slap some perks on there, and it has max range. And you can also have rangefinder, and it gives you lightweight. Like, literally, this gun has so much going for it. It's honestly more than it's got more going for than Ace of Spades. And in fact, I would equip this gun way before I would ever consider equipping Ace of Spades. It's a really, really, really good gun, and as 1.4x zoom, it lets you use a shotgun, and it's good.
A 0.8 is pretty damn good. A 0.8 time to kill, less than a second, and it's a 1.6 body shot time to kill. So this one, again, this is a huge number that we need to discuss. Now on the 1.8...
Again, his entire argument so far has been about the 0.8 body shot time to kill on last word, which I'm sure he's about to go to. And so far, he hasn't really proven that that's actually irrelevant. I mean, in his footage, he hit some headshots and got some 4-taps when he got headshots to compensate for last word's range, which you have to do when you're dealing with guns that don't have an entire column on the right that's blue and really high aim assist and stuff.
80s. You got a 1.0 optimal time to kill. 180s aren't amazing right now. 1.0. And a 1.67. Now, I think you're getting the idea here. It's around 0.8, 0.8, 1. We got 1.6.
Yes, there are always going to be guns that are just not as good to use. That's just how games are. I played a lot of different games. Lots. There's always like 10 to 20% of the strategies are worth using at any given time. That's just how games are. If you're going to complain about that, you will truly actually never be satisfied. I mean, find me a game where literally everything, a good game where everything is usable, and show me that game, and I will be personally very, very impressed, and maybe you'll win a prize. I don't know. Find me a game like that. In Smash, you don't go into Smash saying that everything should be usable. Like, each character has its own personality traits and quirks and like effectiveness, and then there's Fox, who is just better, or Fox and Falco. You have essentially 2 characters in Smash Melee that are really, really good, and that's, again, pretty good for like when you have, it's indicative of a game that has a lot of diversity to, a lot of gameplay diversity, because when a game is really, really complex, you want the tool that is as versatile as possible and that can do as many things as possible and can complement your abilities as a player. And if that game is good, that means that will boil down to very, very few guns. That's why very good players in Smash only play like 2 or 3 characters out of any release. It's because it complements their skill. Like, it's usually faster hitting characters you can combo off of because they can combo with those. In first-person shooters, it's usually because they can aim or play aggressively, or they're confident in their gun skill or whatever. They're going to pick guns that let them do that. And that's why Spare Rations is a good gun, and every other gun on this list besides Last Word is not as good.
1.6. Now I'm going to show you the last word, and I'm going to ask you if you think that this is an okay number.
Okay, so off the top of my head, I think last word has a 0.5 second headshot kill time, 0.8 body shot kill time, a 28 range, let's say 40 stability, 30 something, 30-40 handling. I remember it has a 100 recoil direction and it was either 40 or 50 aim assist, so about half that of spare rations. Let's see how I did.
We're going to go down to the last word.
I can't actually... Oh, isn't this representative? You can't actually see the entire right side of the screen because his head is in the way. Go figure. Really does say a lot.
0.53. Okay, I understand you're landing.
Oh, there we go. There we go. 40. It's 40. And I actually can't see the handling because his head is in the way. I'd make a joke about him being big-headed, but honestly, after he shit-talked Bungie devs, like, I'm done with this guy. Yeah, you go off to the right. You see that 28 range that's almost fully red. That's because it has the lowest range, and the dark red there, which is the lowest range of any, or the lowest aim assist. When you combine those two things, it's not linear how it works, because each gun and each weapon frame has a base aim assist, and like we know that because in the API you could theoretically get Praedyth's Revenge down to -15 aim assist by using the ambush scope, which subtracts aim assist from a gun, but it would still have aim assist. So basically what we know is that there is a base aim assist for every gun. So these values are all, the values on the right are all relative to other guns in that archetype. Again, last word under the hood is the same as spare rations. It functions, it blooms the same way and everything like that. It just has what's called an uncapped ROF. Because of that, the aim assist being half means it actually does have half the frames, or it does have actually less than half the aim assist. Combined with the range, you literally have hurtbox sizes, which are different than hitbox sizes. Hitbox refers to the wireframe cone that extends out of your gun. The hurtbox would be the actual guardian. A lot of players get those terms confused. Hitboxes, another thing that would be a hitbox is, say you shoot a rocket launcher, the pill shape of the rocket itself would be a hitbox, and if it collided with the hurtbox, then that would be a hit. Whereas hit scans, the hitbox doesn't really exist, but you could say it's the wireframe. Anyways, last word has, when aiming at most ranges, is about half the hurtbox size of a spare rations. And then you have the damage drop-off. That's what actually balances this gun, in my opinion. And I believe that last word is really, really, really powerful. I believe it's very close to the edge, but I believe that guns existing like spare rations and previously Recluse, and if SMGs had a bump, I think last word would feel like, I don't think we would be making this video. I don't think MTashed would be taking his time to make this video. It wouldn't be worth it because we'd have guns to compete with it. And honestly, if I wanted to fix this game, I would take that Not Forgotten up there and just bring it back to how it was, because I think 3-hit, I think a 0.67 kill time, which is, it's slower than last word, but also it can straight up map because it had really good, if you go look off to the right, it has really, really good stats on the right side. It would have been far more easier to use, and it would have been a different feel, would have been a precision frame. I feel like that would have been a good, like having a good meta with Not Forgotten shotguns and last word snipers. We would have had two things, kind of like how you have Fox and Falco and Melee. Or there's just endless comparisons you can make between games where you have 2 or 3 really, really good things, and like the player who's the best with one of those things is just the best. And there's also another added skill gap because there's 2 or 3 that you also need to be good against certain matchups. But again, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to cut the tallest poppy, so let's see what he says.
Crits, 225 RPM, I understand. But I want you to look at this number right here.
Yes, your entire argument crutches on it.
The body shot time to kill.
I may be just about as guilty of this as he is, but right now I'm really, really tired because, as you can see, it's 1:18 a.m. and I have nothing better to do at this hour. Actually, I do because I work and study and stuff. But feigning incredulity doesn't actually make your argument stronger. So far we have, oh wow, I can't believe this. which is we just added that one. This is dumb. This is stupid. This is inherently broken, and also you're a hoe if you use this gun. You're unskilled, and it takes no skill. Those are six arguments, and I think we can boil that down to one, which is a 0.8 second body shot time. And on my hand, you can't see that. I just removed my other 5 fingers and left myself with a middle finger. God, I wish I had a face cam right now. Who cares?
Is faster or on pace.
You could see the dead expression on my face because this is what I've been seeing for the past 5 years, and I'm just now finally making a video about it because this is really good content. I'm actually thank you MTashed for making this.
With the headshot time to kill of a 150 RPM hand cannon. It is twice as fast as all of these.
Who wants to take bets if we're even going to go to the right side of this chart?
Body shot time to kills. It is faster.
By the way, when you ignore stuff like that, that is the epitome of intellectual dishonesty, and I mentioned that phrase 4 times. If you want to be intellectually honest, things that are intellectually honest are making concessions, making caveats, finding flaws in your own argument, and trying to point them out. Because when you don't do that, essentially all you're doing is hoping that people take your argument at face value. And right now, the reason I'm making I don't know how much time it's been like I think an hour, and probably will be more than an hour. The reason I say that I'm making that much is because I'm trying to be as intellectually honest as possible here. I made the caveat that you could make an argument the last word is overpowered if you talk about sniping. And I've seen people make that argument, and I have less of an argument against that. I do have arguments against that in that, and because I'm going to be as intellectually honest as possible, I'm going to make arguments against arguments that this guy isn't even making. I would say that sniping is inherently less powerful than shotgunning because a lot of the maps in Destiny, and especially a lot of the gameplay, heavily revolves around close range play. Like the grenades are all like close range, the abilities all really help you in close range. This really is a close range game. So nobody is ever going to go into a lobby and get as many kills with a sniper, or even the best sniper is not going to get as many kills in a lobby with a sniper as the best shotgunner is with a shotgun. That's what I would argue against that argument, since I've left that unaddressed. But again, he's not going to mention that kind of stuff because I don't know if he has the wherewithal or just not the knowledge of the game or the context. Even though I think he's been playing for 5 years, just like I have. I think he's played more than I have. We're not even gonna like get on that level, I don't think, unless in the next 7 minutes of this incredibly repetitive, or 6 minutes of this incredibly repetitive video, we're gonna hear something we haven't before.
Then the optimal time to kill of a 110 hand
Talking louder doesn't make your argument more impressive.
cannon. Boys.
I'm not gonna go full SJW here, but you know, actually women do play this game, and non-men in general, and all kinds of people. So it's interesting he says that.
What?
And you know what? Honestly, I assume like the kind of person who takes his argument at face value is kind of like the gamer. Maybe, you know, bro might actually be really appropriate, because the kind of person who takes these arguments at face value and doesn't nitpick them are like totally the kind of frat boy gamer bros who just like stream all the time and maybe don't have any other career going on. I don't know if he does or not, but like I see a lot of people who just like kind of play Destiny and like, yeah, dude, kind of a thing, and just they're the ones who always get mad in the middle of the game or yell and are intolerable to play with, and always want Snack Daddy Bungie to fix the game, and always have their own genius critiques of how the game might be fixed. And maybe bro is actually appropriate. I take what I say back.
In the world, a 0.8 body shot time kill. I don't care about this one. This one, landing 3 shot, tap.
Okay, so this is the most. Oh, okay, so let me actually just keep
you
going.
should be rewarded for it. It is a fast firing gun.
Okay, so this is the most intellectually honest thing he said this entire video. Out of everything he said, is the most honest. Nobody actually gets the 3 tap with last word. Even the best players with last word get the 3 tap with last words. I love hand cannons. I have like 5,000 kills with spare Ashens, and between the two franchises, like 4,000 kills with 40,000 kills with last word, and between the two franchises, like 10,000 kills with Thorn. And the 3-hit headshot with last word in Destiny 2 is really hard to get off. if you're a good player, the best last word users I've seen probably get like maybe a quarter of the 3 taps off. So good on him for finally saying something intellectually honest.
But this is a 0.53 here, almost to the level of Recluse. But the body shot time...
Recluse, again, required you to get a kill beforehand and then acquire another target in 3 seconds. That's just how good guns work, because they heavily reward you for doing things that are good. Now, could Recluse have been different? Yes, it could have been different. You could have, made it do even more precision damage and then done less bodies. You could have like split it. Instead of doing 25, 25, you could have made it do like 20, 28 or something, or 19, 20, or then 19 body 20. Or you could have just removed the body shot thing in general, just made it like stay doing 11 to 14 bit damage to the body like it already was, and then doing 30 headshot damage. They could have done that to Recluse and made it more like a skill gap once you get a proc. Like, they could have done that. But that's just how skill gap guns work. And that goes to my other point, is like skill floors and skill ceilings and skill gaps are all very different things.
To kill is as fast as the most accurate player with a spare rations. And you...
Yes, and the most accurate player with spare rations is not missing any shots, because the gun is designed so that if you're really good with it, you will never miss a shot. I have an 80% headshot ratio with spare rations. MTashed probably has an 80% headshot ratio with spare rations. Everybody who plays this game regularly has an 80% headshot ratio with spare rations. With Last Word, everybody else's headshot ratio is probably like, I think the average was like 35%. Me, having used it a lot, I think I get like a 55-60% with Last Word. But last time I checked, it was like, you go to like people who complain about Last Word, who their headshot ratio with it is like 35%. Like, clearly there's a skill gap going on here. And with both guns, I see people who complain about spare rations and hand cannons in general who have like 60% headshot ratios with spare rations. Like, you get a lot more headshots with spare rations in Last Words, and you get a lot more, and based on even the footage you see here, you get more you get about somebody picking up spare rations for the first time and somebody picking up Last Word for the first time would probably get as many headshots with spare rations as they would body shots with Last Word. But again, none of this matters because these guns are fundamentally incomparable for the reasons I've listed below and due to the entire right side of that chart, and that's okay. You know, it's okay to have guns that are different and not compare them.
You might wonder to yourself, how the hell do I keep losing duels against the Last Word?
You don't have a shotgun equipped.
It's because they don't even have to aim at your head.
Right.
Foot shot, body shot.
Again, keeping in mind that I've personally tested this in the head of the spare rations. Ahead from, if you're at 50 meters or about a medium range engagement range, the head of spare rations, the headshot hurt box, is the same width as the Last Word body shot hurt box, so whatever.
Body shot, arm shot, dead. You're dead. It's over. All it takes is 4 bullets because they do 50 damage each. And now, okay, what if there is some damage fall off? What if...
Did my like volume increase as I like started watching this video, or is he just getting louder?
Because the range is really low, a 28 range stat.
Oh, he's gonna mention it. Okay.
What if there's damage
my
fall
words.
off? Well, you also have to take into consideration that they probably won't hit all body shots. They might hit you in the head.
Okay, cool. Now you've changed your argument at 10 minutes, 2/3 through the video. You just changed your argument. Now this theoretical player is actually hitting headshots. So what happens when you hit headshots? Okay, so Last Word starts dropping off at 20 meters because it's not like it's not like a minimum range hand cannon with 1.4x zoom that drops off at 24 meters. Last Word is entirely dropped off at like 26 or 25 to 27 meters. Now, if you're hitting heads, you can increase the range, the effective 4-shot range of your gun, and that is where the true skill gap exists in Last Word, is being able to extend the range of your gun by 3 meters, and when gunfight's about 2 or 3 meters ahead of where it's supposed to. That's a skill gap. If you hit headshots with Last Word, as he literally just mentioned, that takes a lot of skill, because if you go in and measure, like once you get to the 3rd or 4th bullet of Last Word, your headshot hurt box is literally the size of the character's physical model, whereas with spare rations, the headshot hurt box is always going to be about double the size. So if you're talking about headshots, the headshot hurt box of Last Word isn't even worth mentioning when you're comparing it to Last Word, because it's just so much smaller. And in fact, there are situations where if say you miss a shot with last word, and you're max ROFing, because again, this entire video is talking about, his argument is that if you max ROF the gun, it kills really fast, which it does. If you're max ROFing the gun and you get into your 5th shot, and there's enough bloom that you could have your reticle physically on the character model, and you won't hit them because there's that much bloom. Even on PC. A PC has bloom, and that, again, goes back to what I said earlier. It is a 150 frame that is uncapped to be a 225 RPM. Like, it's designed, like, it's still the same frame that was designed to shoot at 150 RPM and be tapped out slowly, and you'll see really good last word players. The skill gap for last word truly is being able to hit your heads at range, and also tapping out the gun a little bit faster than your opponent, just a little bit faster than your opponent can get a kill with their longer range gun, but also not too slow that you get slower than their gun and they kill you first. That's the skill gap, is being able to judge that.
And so even if there is damage fall off, that 68 damage headshot...
I don't think he realizes how fast damage falls off. With hand cannons, with how they changed hand cannons, they made it so that damage fall off happens really, really fast. They didn't just decrease the place where it starts. So I would argue that range actually matters even more now, or like those single meters. Not only because when you pi r square something, you think of things in effective range. But those kind of arguments become more important when the damage drop off is instantaneous. Because effectively you can't use what he's saying is simply not true. You can extend your range of last word by 2 or 3 meters, but after that point you're going to start hitting 30s to the head and 20s to the head. Because like the difference between 50 to the head and 30 to the head and 20 to the head is like a meter or two. So like what he's saying is simply not true. It's measurably not true. You can load up a Rumble right now in a private match and just prove what he's saying wrong. Like and that's why he's not doing this. He's not pulling up a private match and doing this. And this brings me to the point of effective range, because when we're talking about spare rations, that with the rangefinder and in an ideal spare rations roll, because that's what we have to talk about. It's going to have 92 aim assists, and it's going to have a good ballistic. It's going to have great recoil patterns. A max range spare rations with rangefinder can hit up to 30 meters. If you square that, and you get 900, and then you multiply it by pi, you get about 1800 meters squared. In Destiny and in first-person shooters, it's better to think of things in area coverage rather than effective range, because effective range is essentially measuring a radius of where the gun can hit. So when you're looking at effective area, that's how much space you can control. Last word is really, really effective. Let's say the best case scenario. Let's say last word always beats spare rations within its effective range, completely ignoring all the bloom stuff. Let's say last word is 20 meters, and that is completely disregarding the fact that after 17 meters, an equally skilled person with spare rations is almost always going to win, because it's so much easier. Due to the firing ballistics you see off to the right, which MTashed has so far ignored for the most part. Let's say that's the case. You take last word, you take your 20 meters, you square it, you're at 400. Now you multiply that times 3 because of pi r squared, you're at 1200. You effectively have 2/3 the effective area covered of spare rations. And that's not even considering the fact that most of that range that last word has covered. You effectively have to, if you're imagining this as a circle, spare ration circle, it's like buying pizzas basically. Spare ration circle is massive, and then a last word circle inside of it is almost half the area, or between 2/3 and half the area of spare ration circle. You have inside of last word circle, you have the shotgun circle, which goes out 12 meters, and that's another like nearly, once you account for things like hunter dodges and or slides, and the fact your gun actually takes time to kill, that's about a good 12 meters, 12 to 13 meters, meaning about half the area where Last Word is better than Spare Ashens. You're worrying about shotguns. This is like, I'm sorry if this is like more math than you wanted to hear right now, but if you're gonna make serious arguments about guns, you gotta do more math than just pull up a TTK chart.
Is going to come down, probably be in the 50 range, and you're still going to get 4-tapped. It doesn't matter what you do.
Like 2 meters.
It is
That's a skill gap.
always going to 4-tap you.
You can extend the range of Last Word by 3 meters.
Good. And so if you put this in the player,
and again, if you're hitting headshots, his argument just went out the window.
But if you put it in the hands of a bad player and everyone is using it, it's even worse.
And if everybody's using it, the person who's best with Last Word is really good, because literally what you just said was that it has a high skilling and a high skill floor, which doesn't mean it doesn't have a high skill gap. So I'm going to go over these terms real quick. A skill gap is a difference between a gun's skill floor and its skill ceiling. A skill ceiling is how good you can do with the gun if you are truly the best with the gun. If you are as good as you can be, the skill ceiling is the highest, the absolute best you can do with the gun. The skill floor means when you pick it up the first time, are you good at the gun? The skill gap is the difference between the two. A good game, as most people would argue, or even most people who have like knowledge of how games even work, would argue that a big skill gap is ideal. What he has essentially said is Last Word throughout this video is based on what he's previously said before about Last Word being insane in good hands. He essentially said this gun has a high skill ceiling and a high skill floor. That's not a bad thing. I come from a generation, and I'm going to say this again, I sound a lot younger than I do. I come from a generation where we all loaded up into Halo 2 with a battle rifle, and the best person with the battle rifle won, and they'd acquire all the power weapons on the map, and they'd kill you. And Halo CE and lands, like you pulled out your M60, which killed about, actually, like I feel like Last Word is like the spiritual successor of the M60 from Halo CE, or as people call it, either begrudgingly or endearingly the quote Halo pistol. I think it's a spiritual successor of that because it had a really high skill floor. You could kill people really, really fast with it, but also you could master the gun and become way better than it. And if you watch footage from like the few tournaments that existed, LAN tournaments that existed at the time, at I think 480i was the resolution back then. Yeah, I'm actually a lot older than you'd think. You would see that people wouldn't be reaching the ideal kill time all the time. Like, it's just not something people would do, and that's kind of how Last Word is. If everybody was using it, the best person with Last Word would win. I have nothing against few guns being in the sandbox. I think the real problems, I think what's between us and Lord of Wolves and backup plans fusions and mountaintop and lightweight grenade launchers and one-hit kill grenades and punches and shoulder charges and insane supers is these really, really good primary weapons. That's what I think is keeping this game afloat, is guns like Last Word. That's guns like Last Word, Spare Ashens, just bread and butter, really fast killing guns, like maybe some like Claws of the Wolf. I don't know. That's what I think is between us and them. So if you want these guns to keep getting nerfed, by all means, we'll end up in Destiny 1 Year 3 where they had to nerf special ammo and ability spam was at its max because their causation correlation, there's a reason No Land Beyond became really, really powerful in Destiny 1. There's a reason. And it's because of people like MTashed right now making videos like this or Reddit threads or Bungie forum posts complaining about whatever was most powerful at the time.
Worse, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. They don't have to hit their shots. They just have to aim at you.
Right, and you would know that considering you didn't do that earlier.
They just have to look towards you, pull the trigger, and you're probably dying faster than you.
You couldn't have given me better content, sir. Okay, can I quote that? Is it a quotable? Can I just shadow play that? There we go. We'll shadow play that. So when you look at, you don't need to aim. You just need to look at somebody and I think. Oh, let's listen.
You could probably counter it.
And pull the trigger. So you just need to aim at a person. You just need to look at a person. That is congratulations, Christopher Columbus. You've discovered FPS games. That is literally what you're doing. Your character is a camera, your reticle is the center of the camera, and everything else is wireframe physics and hurt boxes, which you've entirely ignored throughout this entire video. So yes, if you view this game as literally looking at somebody and pointing and clicking the nothing takes aim, you might as well not be playing a first-person shooter. I don't think you know what you're talking about, so maybe you shouldn't make these videos.
Right. faster than you can deal with it. And I'm
Shotguns.
raging, boys,
Shotguns.
because
Shotguns.
I have been dying to this thing
Backup plan students.
all damn
There we go.
week.
There we go. We got into the heart of the issue. He's been dying to it all week. Just have snack that you get killed by something. There's a gun in your kill feed. Just have snack. The bad daddy Bungie fixed it. If it was not forgotten, who cares? Just nerf whatever gun's good. That's. He's just. I don't even have to say it. He's just admitting it for me. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm trying to make reviews on sidearms. The last word is there. I'm trying to showcase another off-meta weapon.
Yes, you're showcasing them. Cool. Make those videos. That's great. That's great.
Last word is there. It is the new.
How does last word being there take away from that? Are you, Mr. MTashed, suggesting that you are making videos arguing for strategies that are not optimal? Would you say that you're being not only intellectually dishonest, but straight up lying to your viewership? Is that what I'm hearing here? Are you just making videos with off-meta weapons and wanting them to be good so that you can just say they're good and not look at their flaw? Are you just making videos? Like, I feel... since this video is an entire hyperbole, and he's hyperbolized about Recluse in this video and Last Word, I'm imagining he hyperbolizes about his weapon reviews and says, wow, this strat is so OP, you should try it because it works like this, and then ignores like a lot of the downsides of a gun, and that's called just farming you for likes and views and monetization. What are we at? 2-3 ads now? Like, there's no point to being a content creator if you can't make good, intelligent content. And you can be really good at the game. In fact, why don't you just make montages and stream and stuff? I'm sure he does. Like, just stick to that. Maybe, maybe if you're good at playing the game, like, make those kinds of videos. But don't make a video. And I feel like others, I'm not going to name names, but I feel like other content creators do this, and that maybe that's why they're just so mad at this gun. And they're mad at good guns. It's like going into Melee and playing Ice Climbers and saying, look at this amazing wobble strat you can do. You win 100% of the time, and then forgetting the fact that that's just not how things work. It's just not. Like, dude, take your views and take your likes and take your however much money you make from ads and take your exposure and just leave, but don't pretend like you're being good for the community, man.
Recluse of the Crucible. Let me just show you really
Okay, so is it the new Recluse, the old Recluse, the current Recluse? Like, what is it? Get your fucking shit straight.
quickly a little bit of footage, okay? Now, MTashed. On console, it's not good. Well, I've got a little tip for you. I've got a little tip. You don't hold down the trigger. Even on PC,
yeah.
You don't hold down the trigger.
Okay, there, it's cool. Like, I could link from back when he was talking about the 0.8 seconds and then to here, and he is just like, he has argued against himself. Once you start tapping and you don't max RF the gun, then it's not a 0.8 second body shot time to kill. Like, am I insane? Can I not do math? Maybe I'm feigning incredulity right now. No, I'm not. I'm actually incredulous. Like, if I were him and trying to be he's not even aware how intellectually dishonest he is. If I were him, I wouldn't even mention this. Like, I would not even say the word tap fire. I'd pretend like that's not a thing. If I wanted to make a video and convince people last word is OP. Maybe this is a form of intellectual honesty and he doesn't even know it.
People who hold down the trigger are idiots.
Alright, so if you go back to that here, can I go back to that? But basically, I'm just gonna say, if you look at that bullet spread on that wall right there, that was there, and you can rewind this video if you want to. If you look at that, any single shot on that wall would be far enough from any other shot on that wall that it wouldn't hit a head. So yeah, if that's just actually what he just showed there, where it gives you an idea of how much balloon last word has, it's pretty crazy. And if you can even go back and look in slow-mo to see how far off the shots were from the center of his reticle, and it's pretty far off. It's about the edge of a body shot. So yeah, again, last word is a gun where you actually have to shoot at the character model, and guns like Spare Rations aren't. Spare Rations is balanced differently. It's not a comparable gun. There's my thesis.
And they can't do that. People who hold down the trigger are gonna get ghost bullets. It's gonna miss because they're...
Oh, he said the word ghost. Dude, Like, why did you make this video? The last 10 minutes of this video, you just pulled up a kill time chart, and now you're saying the kill time doesn't matter. You're just saying what you literally are saying right now is that to make this gun good, you should have it be a 0.9 kill second. No, buddy. You got to stick with the 0.8 body shot. You're dying on this hill. If you fucking set up the hill, you built the fort on it. This might be Fortnite. You built the fucking fort on the hill. You should stay there and get murked by ninja and die on your hill. But nope, you suddenly have a moment of clarity here.
Recoil, the animation is not accurate. What you're going to do is you're going to tap, 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 tap. And
the reason the animation isn't accurate is because it is a 150 frame hand cannon under the hood in the physics engine that you can fire faster than 150 RPM. It is not, in fact, its own 225 frame. Which, if it was, then it would be busted, because it wouldn't bloom at all. And it would just hit directly on target. But that's not how it is, and that's why I'm here making this video.
the millisecond of time off the trigger is enough to pretty much reset the range.
No. Somebody actually actually measured some players shooting, and they found that the vast majority, or you actually spend, if it's not a full auto, a fast full firing gun, you actually waste like 20 to 30 milliseconds. Like, these are splits of a second when you like tap fire something. So let's say it's a 4-hit kill and you've wasted 20 milliseconds by not just tapping as fast as possible. You've now put your gun in the 0.9 kill second range, which means spare Ashens just killed you at any reasonable range. So yes, no, go back to your previous point, MTashed, please, that you have to max ROF your gun, because that's the only argument you have, and that's the only argument anybody has.
Frame, the aim, and allow you to just
You missed a shot, I believe.
neuter people. Uncounterably good gun. Uncounterably.
I would say that Controverse holds in handheld is uncounterable, or mountaintop and hunter dodge and shoot off another mountaintop, and I would say uncounterable. It's a lovely word to just throw around. Lord of Wolves was uncounterable. The original Lord of Wolves. Currently, I would say it's overpowered, but not uncounterable. Like, using uncountable is just like the most clickbaity fucking thing you could possibly say, or like, just say uncounterable 1,000 times and bam,
powerful weaponry. I'm gonna kill this guy, ain't I?
Yes, with shooting a bunch of shots in, getting a lot of body shots, and then punching them. Yes, that's how you get kills. Now, what he could have done is just 3-tap headshot with spare Ashens and then punched, and it still would have killed him.
All right, he hit him with a throwing knife.
And also keep in mind, we're in 6v6 right now, so we went from Rumble to 6v6, so like none of this footage has even mattered, but it's also proving my point because it's my lucky day.
I was like, I honestly thought I was gonna kill him there. Holy cow. Hey. Dude.
Hunter dodge, look at that. See, this is the number one thing. Like, he escaped that gunfight. This is what I love about hunters, is that they pretend like all the other classes are worse than them, are really entitled, but they literally have an escape. They have a button that they can press that lets them escape gunfights. It's really fucking good. And they all use spare Rations mindbenders, and my personal opinion is this is part of why Last Word is viewed as overpowered, is because a lot of people get mad when their shotgun doesn't instantly kill, and then they get gunned down by somebody who's strafing backwards, and they just want to be able to run over people with their shotguns, with their dodges and stuff, and their spare Rations, and they just want to quick draw their shotgun and kill people, and they don't want to put in the time to actually learn their shotgun's range. That's what I think is it's just like people really like shotguns and they want them to work all the time.
He had Wormhusk or Void Battery or something there to stay alive. Dude, I almost killed the guy with...
Oh wait, what? We're getting another ad? Like, what, there's 3 minutes left? Oh hey, this is cool. This is actually kind of cool. See, this is content I'd watch. Cool. Hordes of demons. Cool. This is a nice little break from you who's been talking for like the last hour or more. Okay, this video, my video, is brought to you by Darksiders Genesis Abilities and Creatures, or Darksiders Genesis. It's my unofficial. They didn't ask for the sponsor for this video because this is so much cooler than whatever MTashed put out. And this is also why we're here. This is why we're here. So we can have this title here. You click on it. You watch 4 of these ads in 15 fucking minutes. That's why we're here. Might as well watch the advertisement. It's actually really kind of cool compared to what we've been watching so far. And obviously you can skip ahead. That's why we're here. Honestly, MTashed should go play this game. He might be more happy. Hey, also it's on Stadia too. I'm now repping this. You can pre-order it on PC now. PC Stadia release date December 5th, 2019. Cool, do that. Okay, I'm not actually. Just pretend like I ordered it.
Heavy, bro. It's so dumb. Now another thing too is people are always like,
"Oh, that's so appropriate." Like
that you're not hip fire.
It's like we're back to the start, pulling up a picture of Last Word and calling it dumb. Am I making this whole video over again?
You can hip fire it, and it's great. Fan fire, and with the hip
yeah,
fire,
and you lose the 1.x,
kind
and
of
you
what
lose
it's made
the
for.
assisted magnetism.
You don't have to do it. If you just use like a normal hand cannon that shoots really fast, and you
also, I want to say something real quick. This is just a fun fact for people, because you might as well come out of here more educated. In Destiny, this game does what's called interpolation with aim assist. So when you aim down sights, you get a lot of bonuses to aim assist, bullet magnetism, accuracy, and bloom and stuff. They burst your hip fire. What this game does is it interpolates at a 30 tick rate. So for every tick, you gain your magnetism becomes closer to the average of your aim down sights magnetism and all those firing mechanics and lovely stuff, and your hip fire. So if you shoot a gun halfway through its ADS, it's like shooting. It's like it'll feel about as quote unquote good as shooting as the average of shooting between the hip and full aim down sights. So just if we want to talk about hip fire for a bit,
you tap the trigger,
I intend to give you facts.
You will murder everyone. If they aren't using the weapon, you just win.
Becca plans fusion rifles. Like, I'm pretty sure if I scroll down to his previous content, I bet you he's complained about other guns. In fact, I think he's been killed by a lot of guns in this video, and I don't think he's actually successfully showcased the gun even in the most reasonable setting possible, or the most ideal setting possible for Last Word versus Rumble. I don't think he even showcased this gun to that potential. Like,
And yes, they can be outside of your range, but that happens with every hand cannon for the.
No, okay, now we're talking about range. Okay, yeah, the difference between 20 meters and 30 meters is hard. Yeah, numbers are hard.
Most part, this one's just a little bit closer. It's
a little bit, just a little bit. 1 point, like 1.1x zoom and 1. Does he even know this has 1 point? Does anybody know that this has 1.1x zoom? Am I the only one who knows that? Yes, it is literally just a little bit closer. Literally, look at the range bar. Look at the aim assist bar. Yes, you've solved the gun.
It's like using
Thanks,
an
Columbus.
SMG. And
yes, SMG should be a little bit more powerful. It's like using an SMG. This is where SMG should be. We need guns that kill really close, that counter shotguns and all the other crazy, ridiculous strats that are actual problems with Destiny. Again, the actual problems in Destiny don't actually have kill times.
And unfortunately, the issue isn't you dominating everyone in a lobby and getting back-to-back kills. And
really, because that's what you tried and almost kind of failed to showcase at the beginning. Then you just overwrote what you even did in this video. Why did you include the first 6 minutes?
And pushing in with this absolutely amazing weapon. It's when everyone is using it and just
that you have a high skill gap, just like any other good.
Zerging in with it.
That's actually physically impossible because it has 8 bullets in the magazine.
That's why this gun is a problem. If you're
a problem to you,
crafty sniping around, you're using it to count.
Then you're really good at the game, and you're really good with Last Word and snipers, and you kill people. Do people have a problem with this? Is this the fundamental thing? Not everybody can be in the top 1% of players in a game. You can't be the top 1%. With Last Word, you have to put your time in with a gun to get better at it. It's just what you have to do with any gun. Spare Ashens, knowing your shotgun engagement range with Mindbenders, knowing how the map works. You have to be good with your gun. That's just how that works. If everybody had if Last Word were truly the most powerful gun in the game, it actually wouldn't be the worst. It would probably be it'd probably be boring for a lot of people, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. I've loaded in and played Last Word only Rumbles. It's really fun, actually. You should try it. Besides just having a negative mindset and being toxic and setting yourself up for failure, maybe you should try a last word rumble. It's really, really fun. The best player with last word always wins. It's called a skill gap, dude. I don't think you've ever heard of it.
Counter shotguns, that's different. But that's not what's happening with this gun. What's happening with this gun is
Literally, because we just saw an entire video of that being exactly what's happening with this gun.
people are sprinting forward, they're holding down the W key or forward, and they're just spamming shots. They're most likely killing.
Who are these people? Because I keep loading into lobbies and I keep playing survival and real game modes where everybody's just using spare mindbenders or spare sniper, because spare is a really, really good gun and it's good to pick up and it's easy to learn. Like, I use spare all the time. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm gonna call the gun I think the gun's easy to use. I use it because it's effective at doing what it does. Also, I have a really good roll for it, so like, why would I not use it? I think a really, really well-rolled spare is as good as last word, if not a little bit better, once you consider the fact that you use a shotgun with spare and you use a sniper with last word. But again, we can't have nuanced arguments like that, because instead people have to have 4 advertisement videos that just say the same thing over and over again, and they need to spit them out 3 times a week.
You or trading with you, even though they're hitting you in the body. Even though you've done everything right,
nope.
There's nothing you can do about it, because there's...
You've already said that sometimes the person has to hit the head, and sometimes the person has to tap fire. So you said your whole claim in this video is that you can kill somebody with 0.8 seconds to the body. And then you upended that by saying, yeah, no, if you want to actually be good, you need to actually say hit the head, yeah. And then you said, oh, no, actually, no, you have to tap fire. Like, so no, you're...
Too many people using it, there's too many people spamming shots.
I literally don't see this gun used anywhere. Maybe it's just because I usually win last word gunfights, and that just goes back to the fact that I've been using the gun a lot. If this gun were easy, if this gun had no skill gap, I would lose every gunfight. And in fact, when I played MTashed and Rumble, he would have probably killed me more, but I've used the gun more than him, so I won all the last word gunfights. I can't remember who actually won the Rumble, but I remember winning all the last word gunfights, because this is the gun I have used a lot, and I also don't usually lose spare Ashens gunfights because I've used that gun a lot, and Thorn because I just use a lot of hand cannons. I'm not the best player in existence by any means, but I'm pretty decent at the game, and when I pick up a gun and decide to use it a bunch, like, other people are going to lose gunfights. And if you do the same thing, I encourage you to pick up. In fact, take this as a video, take this whole entire video that MTashed has made, and take it as advice on how, take his footage and use that as advice on how not to use last word. And take the advice I've given you is, like, just take this video as a way to use the last word. Want to just take out the gun, try it for a bit, see how easy it is to use. If it's really, really easy to use, get better with it. Make it even easier to use. Get kills with it. What's wrong with that? It's the M60 all over again. Just get good with the good gun, or take your spare out and your mindbenders and just kill people. Like, just have a good time in Destiny. Don't insult the devs. Make videos and just ruin the fun for everybody.
Shots in the body, and they're killing you too fast. All they need to do is nerf the body shot damage down.
Yeah, all they need to do is nerf something that didn't need to be nerfed, and that wasn't nerfed in Destiny 1, was fine all the way up until 3 months ago, before, like, the previous nerfs that all these people beg for.
To like 40. Just bring it down to 40, something like that.
Yep.
Like 45.
40, like 12 at a distance, which is a distance I say is like 25 meters,
Maybe.
which is still the spare Ashens like full effectiveness range.
Just anything that's not 50. If you brought it down
Anything that's not something I like, it makes my tummy feel bad.
to 45. Do the math on this right here. So here's just some... some quick maths. So if you look at 45 shots to the body, it's a 180. 180 damage. You can't kill with 4 shots to the body if they brought it down to 40. 68 plus 68 plus 45 is still below. Even 68, 68, 50 is too low to get a kill. But even at 45, this thing is nuts. Headshot, headshot, body shot, body shot, kill. Headshot, body shot, body shot, body shot is a kill. Still at 45. That's nuts. That is so nuts. I mean, right now it's 50 damage. So you can go headshot, body shot, body shot, body shot. And you're getting 218 damage. So even with a little bit of fall off, as long as you hit one headshot, you might still get that kill. Even if you got a couple meters out of range, you can still probably headshot, body shot, body shot, body shot. It's just so easy to use. And as long as you're tapping the trigger, it's busted, boys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Start victory mode.
Start victory mode.
Start victory mode.